Let me show you who you need to pretend to be. But why must I be her? Because I trust you. I feel like I'm changing. Be a good boy and go to sleep for your mommy.
D and Davis Westworld Flip episode 3. I call this the Charlotte episode. If you want to say Charlotte Hale. It's funny because when I spelled it, I hoped I spelled it right because I was like, is it H-E-L? Is it H-A-L-E? And I was like, oh, okay. Because I had to put the captions on this bad boy this time. I was like, you know what? It's a lot of, as soon as the son whispered, I wish you was like, Mom, I said, captions are coming on this bad boy because they talking real low this episode.
The name of the episode is called The Absence of Field.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am Kenneth Davis. You just heard him. He is
D Demonspro. What's up, everybody? Hey, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at D and Davis Show. Once again, it's at D and Davis Show. Facebook.com/D and Davis Show. iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Music, Stitcher, the TuneIn app. We're on Anchor. We kick you over to Spotify. The YouTubes where you can see us, which thank you so much, man. We're getting views on YouTube now, so that's really cool. Shout out to Dedrin. Shout out to Ryan, of course, who's making that happen. Yes, absolutely. So thank you for all the people watching us on YouTube, and we're going to give you more content, all right? Simply search for the D and Davis Show, D and Davis a Flip, or Westworld Flip, all right? I'm on Twitter and IG at Demons1, DEEMONZE1. Ken is on Twitter and IG at That's Davis. Ryan Bukoveski, the executive producer of the D and Davis Show, D and Davis a Flip, and Westworld Flip. You can find Ryan on Twitter at Ryan B. Ski, and on IG, Ryan B. Ski 1.
You could just say he's the executive producer of all of our shows.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. But
I know you want that to
I want to lay him out.
I'm
gonna list everything out for this man. This brother
makes
is working.
me feel like I have a giant degree or something. Cool.
You
do, sir.
Listen, so before we jump into the episode, I just watched this episode, like literally
when
this past hour that just went past.
Me too. I just watched it again
because with my schedules, but usually, even though I've watched it late, usually we watch it on Sunday night. But with the schedule being off, I haven't, and like we've been trying to settle to where we can. I watched it without asking. Usually, we watch these together. I was like, we gotta watch it. She's like, yeah, go ahead and watch it.
Okay.
So not midway through, at least 20% through the show, I was like, man, is this just a straight episode or whatever? Then it was like, oh, I like this episode better than the last episode. So far for me, every episode has been better than the last episode. Okay. So that's what I want to start off with.
Okay.
All right. So first off, when opening to this episode, we have Charlotte, who we believe is now, what was Dolores' boyfriend's name?
Teddy.
Because I always think it's Bucky or something, like it's Captain America's best friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're sure, and we kind of talked about it the last time, that is Teddy that is inside of Charlotte. All right.
They don't explicitly say, but that's how they set it up.
Yeah,
I don't think so, but I give you my theories.
Now, wait, when you saying that, did you go searching or is this your theory?
No, not at all. I haven't watched any review shows of this.
I haven't
watched anything.
I haven't done any of that.
And as you just said, you just watched it an hour ago. I literally just got finished watching it again. This is my second time watching it. I usually don't do that. I just got finished watching it maybe about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's how I finished about 10 minutes ago. All right.
Yeah.
So reason one why I think that it's Teddy is because there are only a few people that Dolores really loved that we saw, and it was her father, and it was really Teddy. So there was no one else that's like, you belong to me, where she can say something like that. Mm-hmm. And also, I'll get to another part where I felt bad for Teddy in this episode, because I'm like, damn, Teddy, you got to take that D. It's like, no, Teddy, no. Mm-hmm. So we come to find out that Delos has been bought out from up under them by someone buying microshares, who, of course, we probably figure out is Arnold Sirach, right? So they're trying to power play. So Dolores and Charlotte have to figure out one. Also, there's a mole inside of Delos. So they're trying to figure out who this mole is before they buy out all the stocks, because once they lose control of Westworld, they're not going to be able to either free everyone that's there or at least take their pearls and place them in someone else, or however they're trying to figure out how to do this. Right. So another thing that stood out to me was how quickly, and again, it's a supercomputer, but how quickly that supercomputer, when Dolores was in that ambulance, was like, oh, she ain't got no vitals. Oh yeah, send those dirty cops to that way. I was like, that's very proficient.
They tried to get out.
Yeah, very proficient of the supercomputer. And then a thought that I have, I still wonder, is the supercomputer not connected to I don't mean connected as far as the person controls it, but perhaps someone is being informed of what new information the computer can glean. I wonder that, or is this computer doing this all by itself? And what's the computer's angle? Because we know Sirach's angle. He said that in the episode when he met Maeve, last episode, that he's trying to save mankind for down the road, the future. He plays the long game or whatever. All right. We know what Dolores wants. We kind of know, we think Baby Bernard wants people to live, to human and machine to live in harmony. But what does the supercomputer want? And that's what I have I don't know its angle. I don't know what its desires are. So another thing, we found out that Sirach has been involved in some ways with Delos for 20 years. Like they sold him some information 20 years ago, and it must have been tasty because he was coming back. Now, I wonder this, and I don't want to skip around. I don't want to skip around. Yeah. So just at the beginning, also, and I said this last week, that was Charlotte's son, little boy that was in the bed.
Yeah.
So the little boy, and it was so sweet. But that was pretty good. Then Michael Easley, the Michael Easley part, who I like to call Jesse Williams before he was Jesse Williams. So Michael Easley shows up in Charlotte's house, and Charlotte pulls out the gotcha, is ready to light up whoever's in there, or Teddy is ready to light up who's ever in there. He's like, hold on, Charlotte. And Teddy, of course, doesn't know that this was her spouse. He was like, I lived here for 8 years. She thinks the first way to persuade him and to stop thinking about what's off about her is to give him some action. Mm-hmm. So Charlotte / Teddy starts to kiss on this man. Then he starts to go to work. And then at that point, I'm thinking, damn, Teddy got to do the whole shebango Teddy has to give Dolores a lot, man. A lot. When you got to take that stick, and I'm joking, but I'm also being serious because, yeah, they're pearls and they're machines, but they have a certain, what am I trying to say? A certain identity. You know what I'm saying? Like, his identity is as a dude. You know what I'm saying? A heterosexual male. We haven't seen, and again, we don't care about that, but we didn't see Teddy do anything that was bisexual or anything like that. Right. So this is for me, I'm just thinking, and Teddy's also going through identity crisis because he feels like he says this. He feels like Charlotte's trying to take over. We know that can't be possible unless she has some time. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But Charlotte is smart enough to have some type of script to where she could come back. I do believe that. Also, the
Life Finds a Way, Michael Crichton, Jurassic Park, all that good stuff.
And look, but when we find out about Insight and their machine, Roboam, now we kind of know, and this goes to the Charlotte point, now we know damn near anybody can come back. Because basically...
What do you mean anybody can come back?
Because when Dolores at the end of the show is talking to Caleb,
right,
and she's talking about how she predicted, where the computer predicts where he was going to die at.
Right.
Yeah, right. But when she's sitting there telling him that, and that whatever he did, what probably those things in their mouths.
Well, that's the thing he has in his mouth. It said it's because he was in the war. He was a veteran.
Yeah, no, that's not what they said. He has a superior one. That's what they said. Military grade. Yeah, military. But everybody has them. But he has. When you're in the military, they give you a better one than the average Joe gets one. Right. That's what they were saying. So. Some way and somehow everyone's transmitting into the Roboam whatever's going on in their life or whatever.
Well, that was one of the big things he was talking about, how the machine basically collects everybody's data. Mm-hmm. And Dolores was talking to Caleb at the diner, and she was kind of, he didn't know, obviously, but she was kind of explaining to him everything and anything about how this machine gathered up all this data. But I want to get back to the whole thing with Charlotte. And I think the biggest question is, who is Charlotte? Ken has a theory which could play out. We don't know just yet, that it could be Teddy. I have two people, but it was women. And in the scene you're talking about how he's like, damn, Teddy has to sleep with a man, although, you know, saying his host form, he was a man, but now the pearl is in Charlotte, as you're predicting. I took it another way. I took it as, okay, she saw this dude. I don't know if it's the case of her, Charlotte, just saying like, oh, let me distract him by throwing myself at him, which could be a possibility. I thought of two people because of what Dolores said to Charlotte. The first one I thought of was Clementine Pennyfeather. She was the lady who was like the second in command to Maeve.
That's what I mentioned last week.
Yeah, I'm saying this could. I'm thinking
that's what I said. That's what I said last week.
It could be her. It could be her because she was. I mean, her role as a.
But let me ask you this:
Westworld,
how close was she to Dolores?
I'm just saying that.
So, but this person has a relationship with Dolores.
Now, the other person that I thought was the blonde chick with the tattoos on her face.
But how close was she?
She was a rider with.
She was a rider, but they weren't like, I'm gonna hold you and cuddle in bed.
See, I don't know. I mean,
no, because think about it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about you and your prediction of Teddy.
It has to be.
That makes sense. But I'm just throwing out something else because of the two things. Clementine, because her character was, she was very kind of like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and snatch you up. I have this lust for men because because of her character. Or was it Armitage? Because remember when she took off, when Dolores took Charlotte up to the hotel because she was kind of going crazy, like, what's going on with me? Something's happened to me. I feel like, saying she's coming back in a sense. When she took off her shirt, she had like cuts on her, but they were in designs of tattoos. So I was thinking like, well, damn, is it her? Because I don't think Teddy would do something like that.
But okay, so it's definitely Teddy. And this is again why we keep you around.
Hey, I'm just throwing out theories.
No, as you should, because
well, Ken, let me
go ahead. You go, Ryan. You go, Ryan. Yeah.
To it being Teddy, do you think that there's any reason why they didn't explicitly say his name at all and purposely went out of the way? What's your theory behind that? They saving
it. They got to be saving
it. See, I'm gonna tell you why I think they're saving it. I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why it's Teddy. I'm gonna tell you why it's Teddy.
But I want to know your theory on why
first of all, they're holding their cards to when Teddy starts to get jealous of Caleb. Because that's what's going to happen. He's going to be like, Dolores, you like this real D. You don't like the synthetic D anymore. On top of that, Teddy wants to be back in his body. So one, you're out here with this guy. I've been, and remember the point when he took out the pedophile at the park. He said, I found myself because he's a protector. That's what Teddy was. Teddy's role was always to try to save Dolores, basically. That was whatever Teddy was always the good guy, the guy in the white hat. That's who Teddy was.
But is this the evil Teddy at the end that shot himself? That was kind of like, okay, I'm not going to follow you? Or is this the white hat?
It's the last one that you said. But we also don't know any changes that Dolores may have made to Teddy. But see, this is another, but you just pointed out, you just answered your own question.
Who, me?
How did Teddy die?
He killed himself.
Okay, and now this person is mutilating their own body.
Well, they're mutilating. Well, this host and Ryan, we definitely want to have you hop in. We see that this host is mutilating herself as
Frankie's a cutter,
Charlotte, because I guess she feels, and this is something that I'm kind of confused about. I'm going to be honest about it. I'm kind of confused about it. She says that it feels like she's taken over.
That Charlotte is coming back.
Charlotte's coming back now, the pearl is the pearl of the host back from Westworld. This isn't a pearl. Is it so much that what was a robo bomb? Are they taking that data?
That's what I'm saying.
And placing it into the host's pearl. And then that person is kind of like those memories are trying to come back out. That's the one thing I will say. Well, let's get Ryan in here. That's the one thing I'm kind of confused about. Go ahead, Ryan.
I really like the episode, and the few things that kind of caught my attention. The mole, like we were talking about before. I was wondering who might the mole be, and if the mole is trying to specifically be planted so it makes Charlotte look bad in front of all the investors, because they are all, like that board, are getting on her ass a little bit about, hey, you know everything. Why don't you know who this mole is? You're the one that's in charge of it, and this is not Charlotte-type behavior. So I wonder if that's part of Sirach's plan or maybe a third party that's getting in on the dance. And then the other thing, too, was just Dolores and Caleb's relationship. Like, it just seems like maybe what you were talking about before, Ken, like how last week it seemed like Maeve is the good guy and Dolores is the bad guy, how that might ultimately flip and switch because of the different human influences that they have. Because Sirach clearly again, only cares about the future and allegedly the greater good. We don't know about that yet, but that's how it seems, because that's the only chance for the human race. Maybe Dolores is the one, because she's talking to Caleb about how this algorithm is deciding everything for people. That's why Caleb was expected to commit suicide on that bridge or that walkway that they had.
10 to 12 years in the future,
Right, and then she showed him all the files and all that, and that's what making him break out of his normal routine and follow her. And I wonder if maybe she's going to try to do that for all of humanity.
Oh, that's the revolt right there. She's going to take the lower class. When she told us last week, said how they built the system is so easy to take down. That's what she was talking about. She's going to let those people know that you basically are us robots. They do the same stuff to you guys, basically. And that's how she's going to flip the paradigm, rather, as far as the have-nots going at the haves. That's the. Now, I don't think that's the only plan, but that's a large chunk of what the plan is. That wasn't just for Caleb. That was for everyone who hasn't. All Lena Waithe, Marshawn Lynch, all these people at the bottom. She's going to sit there and let them know that your lives are being controlled. The reason you don't get promotions and all this is because they set low expectations for you, and that's how they want it. And that's how she's going to try to shake the whole system down to its core.
Because remember, she did say if you're not an investment, they'll have you stay at this particular point, which, based on the algorithm, that means Caleb's going to kill himself. Because basically he's like useless in a sense. But
he's not getting what he wants.
Right.
And just really quick, my last thing, Ken, what you said about the supercomputer's motivation, I kind of thought it was the other way. I don't think the supercomputer really has a motivation, but I think what we're going to come to learn is that Serac, like all the computer does is an algorithm and tell you what's going to happen in the future. And Serac's trying to control that to have everything go right for humanity again. I wonder if we find out that it's really just to keep the elite and rich and powerful involved. And that's really the technical motivation of the supercomputer, is just it's producing an algorithm and the super elite are trying to control it so that they stay in power.
All right, a few things. To your point real quick, Ryan. Another thing we found out at the end of the show, and I think we kind of felt this, that Charlotte was probably working with Serac, because she always had ulterior motives while she was there.
Because I would think that she was the mole. She was the mole, right?
Yeah. But she wasn't the only one. That's what
someone knows that she was the mole originally and is using that to their advantage by planting another mole now.
No, Serac told us at the end she wasn't the only person he had influence on in the company. So no, she's not the only mole that was there. He said that. You're not the only one. That's why she said you have more information than I even have right now. And he was like, you think you'd be the only motherfucker I have up in there?
But you know what? I didn't take it as he said that, because saying that in the sense of I have more information inside the company. I thought he was just saying in the sense of influence in general.
No, he said you think you're the only. He was saying in the company.
I go back and watch it again.
Yeah, he said you think you're the only person that I will have influence in that company. Like, wow, if I'm for this type of power move, I'm just not gonna send one person to do this job. But that doesn't even make sense for what. Like, even in big business or the subterfuge or whatever you want to call, you're gonna go in and have as many people there in case this person fails, or if they double back and backstab you, you're gonna do that. So she's not the mole. That was because also if she was the mole, she would have known about the stocks at this point. I'm just saying it at this point of it, because so much time has went on that. All I'm saying is this: I felt like he said you're sitting there and you're playing your job too well as far as we don't have any type of connection, right? Like he implied you've been really distant. I know that's how the act is supposed to go, but you've been really distant. Mm-hmm. So, and then again, to get to the point of him saying you're not the only person I got there. But Ryan, one thing I did want to point out when you're talking about Serac and what his long game was just for the elites. Well, why does he want all the information from all the guests? Because I
think it's the same thing like Delos wanted. That whole let's get a human mind into a robot body so we can live forever.
Okay.
That's definitely something.
But see, that's the thing. Why bring back all of those people? I mean, again, you may want to have. I guess if you have all of them, you can leverage that to who. For instance, if they have relatives, anybody, and you can bring them back that way. But I just looking at that when he said that, it was still like, well, what exactly is the long game? So then, another thing that jumped out to me. One, I didn't like the fact that Dolores had her boots on in the bed when she was hugging Charlotte. I felt that was terrible. She shouldn't have done that.
Take your shoes off.
Take them boots off your feet.
Maybe Teddy likes it that way.
Maybe
Keep your shoes on, baby.
Also, so look, and Ryan, when you just brought up, when we were talking about last week, when I was talking about Maeve and Dolores switching roles as far as who may be the villain and who may not be the villain, I think, again, Dolores is going to find something in humanity and Caleb. But I also think Teddy's going to find something in being a mom. Like I think.
Well, you are really stuck on this. That's Teddy, huh? Okay.
I mean, it's Teddy. It's not. Again, I don't think Dolores is going to lay up in the bed with her daddy. Now it could be Dolores' pops.
That was a theory.
But I said that last week. I said it was her dad. So, but to me, it's someone that we saw Dolores have a relationship with, and I'll hurt my argument first. In the old past 2 seasons, things weren't linear. So they would show us stuff that we didn't see. You'd be like, oh, this happened 10 years ago. This happened 20 years ago. But the people that we were just saying, if it was the young prostitute that was under Maeve, or if it was the tattoo lady,
Clementine,
the snake lady, we never. By the end of the show, we did see that Teddy and Dolores were basically still together. So it wasn't enough time for them to run away and her to fall in love with a woman. Just this is my opinion. So I don't think it was those two women. I still think it's someone that they showed us. Dolores had a close relationship during the whole thing. Now, mind you, again, he doesn't have a phallus. So it wasn't like they can make love, and maybe that's not how they get down. All they did was lay down. So that could have just been her father that she was laying with. But to me, it seems like I lean on Teddy, but the only person that I think it would be without Teddy is her pops.
Okay. Well, Ryan, I do want to go back to. I had some thoughts about the whole thing with the mole situation. But Ryan, I don't think we ever figured out if you believe that the host, if you believe that Charlotte is Teddy, or do you think it's somebody else?
Yeah, he said he thinks it's Teddy.
You think it's Teddy too?
I'm with Ken. I think Teddy or the dad seem like the most logical, but I'm just hesitant because they didn't say Teddy's name. I feel like they did that on purpose. And maybe it's something like Ken said later on, Caleb becomes maybe a little bit more of the love interest. But that could be one of those things like way down the line, like, whoa, I didn't realize it was that person.
Yeah. But think about this too. They haven't let us know who the other two pearls are that haven't been used yet.
So we have Charlotte, we have Dolores, we have
Bernard, and it's two more.
And it's two more, right.
Okay. And I like in that scene, she's like, what is he doing here?
Yeah, like she can just see Charlotte. Yeah, the red that I wonder now. It was like
that was Bernard.
I know it was Bernard, but I was going to say, I wonder, like, is it blood or did Ford put an extra little sprinkle on Bernard's pearl?
I think he did. Here, let me put wait a minute, what's something?
Hey, maybe that's the proxy thing that he's worried about with Dolores controlling his thought, or like implanting something in him when she created him. Maybe that red stuff is something.
Maybe a little extra sauce to it.
Or it also could be like Ford basically left a hole in that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like a space or an alternate side that he was, when he was kind of controlling Bernard and stuff like that, that it still could be something like that. But I still wonder, like when Charlotte sees, or whoever's in Charlotte, again, sees Bernard's pearl and is like, that motherfucker right there.
He trying to take us out. He trying to kill us. All right, real quick, I do want to go back to, because I get a chance to talk about this, or at least my theory on it. Kim, you was breaking it down your side of things with the mole situation. So, let you to my head. So I was thinking, like I said, I didn't think that Ciroc, where he had said to Charlotte, you ain't the only one. I was thinking more of a bigger aspect because of how rich and how powerful he is, not so much of a going inside the company, which definitely could be true. But I was also thinking that so she is the host. We don't know who this person is. We have Teddy. I threw out Clementine, whoever it may be, right? That person didn't know that Charlotte was the mole. So it seems to me when she was having that conversation with Ciroc, she was finding out all the information too. Like, oh damn, it's me.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, because she never really said. She never like went into detail. She was just on a surface level, like, okay, I'm letting you know that you think that I'm the mole, but honestly, I have no idea because her and Dolores kept talking like, hey, it's Samo, it's Samo, it's Samo. So obviously, I'm guessing maybe not the next episode, because the next episode is going to be about
Man in Black.
probably Man in Black and a little bit of Maeve too. I saw her in the preview scene of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure that Charlotte is now going to go back to Dolores and be like, hey, boss, he said the mole is me. I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I'm very interested to see exactly, like you said, you think of somebody else, which is
no. I'm saying it's both. I'm saying it's two moles.
It's two moles. Right.
That's what. Yeah, but see, it goes back to, look at it the same way with Michael Easley showing up at the apartment. There's no way that Charlotte, well, you would think Dolores would have investigated Charlotte correctly, like she did Caleb for the most part, and been like, hey, you used to have a man and a kid, right? So that
I'm sure she had that same information she had at Caleb.
I would think, but again, whoever Pearl that is isn't in their right mind right now. They're having some type of identity crisis. So and also, and again, this is why I think it's Teddy. That person's obsessed with Dolores. Obsessed with, where are you at? All that person wants to do is get back to picking up the kid. I know they didn't know about the kid initially, but the point that I was making, it was the same thing basically when Charlotte started kissing Michael Easley, because I don't want to talk anymore because clearly I don't know what's going on. So, it was a distraction. It was a kind of switch everything up. So it was the same thing when she saw Sirac. Yeah, I'm the mole. Okay, let me take in some more of this information. It's whoever that person isn't, you would think, caught up on who the character they're actually supposed to be portraying. But still, I think I think those two instances actually mirror themselves, and I think it's really about that Pearl being unprepared for what's supposed to be going on, but also, whoever that Pearl is, like, none of these people are Maeve, Dolores, or Bernard. The rest of them,
they're not as good. It wasn't built.
They're not. Yeah, great point. They're not them. They're not. They are 2-dimensional, while these other people are 3 and 4-dimensional. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was only 4 hosts that was, if you want to say 4-dimensional. It was Bernard, it was Maeve, it was Dolores, and it was the guy who was a Native American in season 2, because he found the thing with he figured out that it was it was more to being what he was, and he was always looking for, I'm trying to get out of here, this puzzle, whatever like that. So it seemed like it was 4 hosts that were built a little bit more, built better than the rest of them. Yeah, definitely. I had something too. So the encrypted songs, I think this was kind of interesting. The encrypted messages that Charlotte was getting, because we're guessing that when she was we kind of know, when she was calling, hey, where you at? She was calling Dolores. But she was also getting these encrypted little tones. And by the end of the episode, she figured out, and as we did too as a viewer watching it, that those encrypted tones was actually the song that she was singing to her son Nathan in the tablet. So I'm very interested. Not interested. I'm very curious as to, I guess it kind of goes back to the power or the insight, as you said earlier, Ken, with Sirac, that he even knew the song that she sung to her son. Like, when, I guess that was a flashback to season 1, right? Wasn't it a flashback to season 1 when they was all getting shot up? Okay.
I mean, technically the beginning of season 2, but
okay, yeah. But it was at the party, whatever like that. They started shooting, all the hosts started killing people. So it was it just kind of shows the power to Sirac that he knew exactly the song that she sung to her son.
Is that it though?
Or it's what do you think?
Did she use the song to uncrypt the message, or was that her password? So usually your password is something that you remember.
I was thinking those cryptic. I was thinking those were coming over as text messages, right? And then at the end, when she got the last one.
Yeah, I'm not saying they weren't, but my thing was, so when Charlotte found out that song meant so much, or whoever, I'm gonna say Teddy, found out that song meant so much to Charlotte, he then thought, you know what? What if I use this song to unlock whatever that was in the phone? That's what I took from it.
I think the women, they unlocked, basically that song unlocked the passcode to call Sirac, right?
Yeah, true. But the only thing that I'm saying is, I think Charlotte of course, Charlotte's not going to have Sirach's number where if somebody takes her phone, they're like, you fuck with Sirach like that? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's a mole. She's a spy. So however they talk to one another, it has to be coded. It has to be done in secret. So
I just thought of something. Hold on. So maybe I'm about to walk back something I just said. So wait a minute. So are we for sure, guys, that who she was trying to call, talking about where you at? Are we for sure that was Dolores and it wasn't?
Yeah, I think majority. I thought when you were going to say that earlier, I still think majority of that was. I think that was Dolores, but it was your call's not going through. It could have been Sirach.
And soon as she got the last
what's
call,
name, it opened up.
It opened up, and she was able to talk to him, saying, "Hey, I want to meet." And boom, the car took her to Sirach. So maybe she was not trying to reach out to Dolores. Maybe it's blew up everything we kind of said before. At least maybe.
No, I don't think it blows it up because it crossed my mind, but I still think whoever is that person wants to be connected to Dolores. Like, when you saw when it's like, where have you been? You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
yeah.
You left me out here. I don't want to do this.
I'm hurting myself.
I want to be in my own body. Does it let you also know that it's more to them than, well, it's not, it is what they program, but they take that on. So it's like, this isn't my form. Because even when we really think about it, when they were bringing them back all the times, they were still giving them the same form. They were just giving them a different narrative to play out. Basically. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you get used to that. This is my hand, even though it may have got blown up, they put the same duplicate back on. You know, you kind of, you grow attached to that. So I definitely think that can be true what you're saying, but I still think that whoever that character is has an affinity for Dolores. And also, just like Dolores was like, hey, it's only a few of us out here. You know what I'm saying? And when you see it, that whoever's in Charlotte is sitting there and is hurting themselves, has lost direction, and it takes murder to get that person back on track. It's like, oh yeah, I like this part right here. It was definitely a really, really, really good episode. So let me also say this.
Yeah, I got another thing.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No. I wanted to throw this out to you too. So at the end of the meeting between the hologram Sirach and Charlotte, oh man, just slipped my mind. Oh man, I can't believe it just slipped my mind what I was going to ask you all. But it was something. Oh! Sirach said that Dolores was the key. So now it seems like they're playing like a little cat and mouse, or they know about each other, but they're trying to.
Yeah, they know about each other.
They definitely know about each other. But then since they kind of like, I guess I can use a metaphor, cat and mouse. But now Charlotte's in the middle. She actually now knows, like, okay, I'm the mole. Okay, I'm gonna go back over to my boss, Dolores, whatever like that, and give her the information. But at the same time, hey, boss, he also knows that you have a key that sent the data at the end of season 2 that sent the data into the wherever, I don't know where it's at, but they're trying to find it. But he knows that Dolores is. He
knows where it's at. No,
he knows where it's at.
Whereas he said, I know where it's at. Okay. I don't have the key,
but I know who the key is.
Yes,
and the key is Dolores. Okay. All right. No, it's another thing that's kind of popped into my head. Ryan, you had anything else, man?
I'm just kind of, I guess, thinking about Caleb's role in all of this. Is he just going to kind of be the like he's seen Dolores show him how everything's like a system? Is he just the loyal soldier, or
I think he's going
to is he going to be anything more than that, though, do you think? Or is he just simply the bodyguard?
He's going to be more to it because Dolores basically foreshadowed it when she said, why did you not tell those guys about me? You made a decision that no other human being would have made. And it always also the same thing with Bernard. It's multi-pronged why she selects these people. It seems like she selects them not just to help her, but to help the process. Because just like she told Charlotte Charlotte was like, you know what, I can't live without you. She kind of said, you're going to have to. She kind of said that. She was kind of like, listen, something may happen to me. It's probably going to happen to me. And you got to keep this war going. So I don't think she's just looking she wants to use them as foot soldiers. And also we can look at, if she looks at some of the mistakes from her first revolt on Westworld, but I think that either she expects that there's more to Caleb, But even if that she doesn't, I think we're going to see, and that's foreshadowing when she said that he's a true outlier, that he's at one point, just like what happened with Teddy, that he's going to be like, no, this is enough. Because, all right, let's just hypothetically say that she starts the uprising and the have-nots are taking power from the haves, but then she comes to reveal, you know what, I really want all of y'all dead. I just want to throw a monkey wrench in the machine to stop the machine and make it vulnerable, and therefore I can attack it even better. So, and if that takes place, I don't think Teddy would want humanity as a whole to go down just because these higher ups stop the people at the bottom from succeeding.
And then I was trying to figure out if we get any clues as to what Maeve's like, because at the end of episode 2, Serac said, our goals kind of align, so that you should be on my side against Dolores. What could he have that, or what is his goal at Maeve?
He knows where heaven is, wherever Maeve's daughter and the rest of them went. Because that's the only thing Maeve really cares about. Maeve only cares about her daughter.
Yeah, but she doesn't need Serac to get there unless she needs to figure out the key. But she knows that Dolores is the one that handled the encryption. Yeah,
but that doesn't mean that she thinks Dolores would want to give it to her either.
Well, that's also too how now Serac can pit Maeve against Dolores.
That's what that's the plan.
Yeah, she got the key to get to your daughter or whatever like that. Yeah, or get to the spot.
Like that's going to be a backfire for Serac then.
At some point, definitely. At some point,
I just don't see why that's a strong enough reason. Like if I was Maeve, what I would do is figure out something that Dolores wants and get the key and screw over Serac.
Well, anything I would think Dolores would be like, hey, you one of us. You need to be on this side. When we're gonna set this. We're gonna have this uprising. Yeah. So I don't know if that really matters to Maeve though.
Does she feel like she can't trust Dolores enough that if she joined her side, that she wouldn't get into heaven with her daughter?
Hey, listen, Dolores stopped her from getting there. Because at the end of season 2, you know what I'm saying, she used her superpowers and froze everybody to let her daughter go through. But they were all gonna go, and then Dolores blew everything up. So obviously she doesn't have a good relationship with Dolores. So and that's probably gonna happen
for sure
in the future episodes of the season. So and I guess Serac is definitely gonna use that.
It's that old like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The enemy of my enemy is my enemy.
Yeah. But yeah, you know what? I gotta say, to wrap it up. Hey, listen, it was a really good episode to me too. At first, the second time watching it, I was like, yeah, this is a really good episode.
All right. One, Caleb mom left him. That was terrible.
Yeah.
And this is my last part. The fact that Roboam basically Arnold and them basically made that to create the Westworld characters, basically. They used that data, which said it was a world mirroring a world, and that's how they came up with that. But anyway, D, take us out.
All right. Hey, make sure you follow us on Twitter and IG at D and Davis Show, Facebook.com/D and Davis Show. You can find all the podcasts and things there. Visually on YouTube and all. You can listen to audio, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Music, Stitcher, and the TuneIn app. Subscribe, rate, share, all that good stuff. All right. Twitter, IG Demons1, Ken, Twitter, IG at That's Davis, and Ryan B. Ski on Twitter and Ryan B. Ski 1.
Hey, don't do anything crazy before you hear from us again.
Keep your hands to yourself.